data here from Statista that helps us pinpoint the top 10 African countries with the largest Muslim populations.
Yeah, and it's more than just numbers, isn't it? It's a demographic picture with really deep historical roots.
Exactly.
Islam's arrival, and, well, it's spread across Africa. That's a story that spans centuries. It's often tied up with trade, with centers of learning, with empires rising and falling.
Right.
And the way Islam is actually practiced, how it's expressed across the continent, it's incredibly diverse.
Totally. It's not just about, how many people. It's about understanding the unique cultures, the history, the sort of weight of Islam within these specific countries. So our goal with this deep dive really is to pull out the most compelling bits, those details that give you, the listener, a richer picture of how Islam has shaped continues to shape these societies.
Always good.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. We're doing a countdown starting at number 10 based on our notes.
All right. Number 10, that takes us to Somalia. They have an estimated 12.1 million Muslims.
Okay, Somalia. Right off the bat, something that jumps out is that Islam isn't just like a major religion there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the official state religion. And it seems like pretty much the entire population is Sunni Muslim.
That's right. Islamic principles are deeply, deeply ingrained in Somali society.
How so?
Well, you see Islamic law playing a really significant role in daily life. It influences, everything from resolving disputes to social customs. It acts as a framework, providing both legal and ethical guidance.
Which makes sense, given its official status.
Yeah.
And I found this really interesting. Somalia has this incredibly rich tradition of poetry, right?
Yes, very strong tradition.
And religious themes are often just woven right into it. So poets there, they aren't just, artists or entertainers. They're important cultural voices, maybe even spiritual guides sometimes.
That's a great point. It really shows how faith is embedded in their art, how the sacred and the artistic often blend together in cultural traditions.
Yeah.
So moving on to number 9, that's Burkina Faso, with about 14.2 million Muslims.
Okay.
Here, Islam is the dominant religion, especially concentrated in the northern parts of the country.
Burkina Faso. Now, that's a landlocked country, isn't it?
Yeah.
Facing some pretty serious economic challenges.
It is, yes. Development challenges are significant.
Yet what seems to stand out is the resilience, the strong sense of community you hear about among the Muslim population there.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it, how that shared faith helps build social cohesion, especially when facing hardship.
It definitely can. In places where resources might be scarce, those community bonds, often strengthened by shared religious values, become vital support systems.
Right.
And architecturally, there's something quite special. The Grand Mosque of Bobo Dioulasso.
Oh, yeah.
It's described as this architectural gem built in the Sudanese style, entirely from mud and wood.
Wow, mud and wood. For a grand mosque.
Think about that. A major religious building crafted from local natural materials. It's really a testament to adapting to the environment while meeting spiritual needs. Ingenious, really.
A mud and wood masterpiece that paints a picture. Okay, next up, number 8, Senegal, with 15.5 million Muslims.
Senegal, often called a spiritual beacon or heartland in West Africa.
That sounds significant, a spiritual heartland. What does that mean in practice?
Well, Senegal is really well known for its influential Sufi orders.
Huh.
The Mouride and Tijaniya brotherhoods are probably the most prominent.
Sufi orders. So like mystical branches of Islam.
Sort of, yes. But they're much more than just religious sects in Senegal. They are deeply embedded social forces, even economic forces. They emphasize peace, discipline, devotion, yes, but also community development, social harmony.
Interesting. So they play a broader role in society.
Absolutely. These brotherhoods often function as powerful social and economic networks. They provide support, stability. Sometimes they even mediate in political situations.
Gotcha. And you can't talk Senegal without mentioning Touba, right? The holy city.
Exactly. Founded by Sheikh Amadou Bamba, the founder of the Mouride Brotherhood.
And millions of pilgrims go there every year.
Millions. It gives you a very real sense of its spiritual importance, its gravity. It's a global center for the Mouride community, a living monument to Bamba's influence.
Wow. Okay, number 7 then.
Number 7 takes us to Mali, with around 19.6 million Muslims.
Mali, known for its incredibly rich Islamic heritage, especially through places like Timbuktu.
Timbuktu. The name alone evokes so much, doesn't it?
It really does. Images of like ancient desert wisdom.
And for good reason. It was a world-renowned center of Islamic learning centuries ago. Hundreds of schools, libraries.
Hundreds. That's an intellectual legacy that's just staggering. We need to appreciate that. These weren't just book collections. They were active centers for debate, preserving knowledge when Europe was, well, in a different phase. It shows this vibrant intellectual life in Africa.
Precisely. And we have physical proof. The ancient manuscripts of Timbuktu, many are over 500 years old.
Still existing.
Yes. And they cover everything: theology, law, astronomy, medicine. It shows the depth and breadth of the scholarship that thrived there.
It really shifts your perspective on history, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Thinking about that level of intellectual activity happening there so long ago.
It absolutely does.
All right, number 6. That's Niger, with 21.7 million Muslims.
Niger. And the data suggests over 99% of the population identifies as Muslim.
Over 99%. Wow. That's remarkably homogenous, religiously speaking.
It is. And that near total adherence means Islam's influence really permeates almost every part of Nigerian life. Traditions, social norms, education systems, they're all deeply shaped by Islamic values. It's a unifying cultural thread.
Makes sense. And Niger has something called the Kir Saleh Festival, celebrated by nomadic Muslim communities.
That's right.
It's described as a blend of Islamic and indigenous traditions. That sounds like a really unique cultural mix.
It's a fantastic example of cultural syncretism. You see religious beliefs intertwining with local pre-existing practices to create these unique expressions of identity and celebration. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, really is. Okay, we're breaking into the top 5 now. Number 5.
Number 5 is Morocco, with a pretty significant jump, 35.5 million Muslims.
Morocco. Okay, thinking about Morocco.
Yeah.
There's a really close tie between Islam and the monarchy there, isn't there?
Yes, very close. The royal family claims direct lineage from the Prophet Muhammad.
Wow. That's a powerful claim, connecting spiritual and political authority directly.
Indeed. It provides a very strong foundation for the monarchy's religious authority and legitimacy in the country. And Morocco predominantly follows the Maliki school of Sunni jurisprudence. Think of it as one of the main traditional frameworks for interpreting and applying Islamic law within Sunni Islam, particularly common in North and West Africa. It guides daily life and legal systems.
Got it. And Morocco has this astonishing fact. The University of Al-Qarawiyyin in Fez, founded way back in 859 CE by the woman Fatima Al-Fihri.
That's the one.
And it's recognized as the oldest existing continuously operating university in the world.
In the world, yes.
So while Europe was still, figuring out its formal education systems, this incredible center of learning was already thriving in Fez.
Yeah.
That really turns conventional ideas with intellectual history on their head, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It highlights this long, distinguished history of academic achievement within the Islamic world and Morocco's central role in that.
Amazing. Okay, number 4.
Number 4, we find Sudan with 38.4 million Muslims.
Sudan. The data points out that this Muslim majority actually cuts across ethnic and linguistic lines.
Right.
So even with all its diversity and political complexities, Islam acts as a key part of national identity for many.
Exactly. In a country with considerable diversity, it serves as a significant unifying element for a large portion of the people.
And the city of Omdurman. It's mentioned as historically important.
Yes, Omdurman. It's significant as the location of the Mahdi's tomb, a key figure in Sudanese history, and it was and is a hub of Islamic thought and, historically, resistance.
So another layer to understanding its culture and politics.
Precisely. It's a place really steeped in both Islamic scholarship and a history of movements drawing inspiration from religious ideals.
Okay, number 3 now. Getting close.
Number 3 is Algeria with 39.4 million Muslims. Very close to Sudan's figure.
Algeria, again, overwhelmingly Muslim population. And there's a strong theme of Islamic resistance against colonial rule in its history.
Yes, very much so. That history is still very significant in their national consciousness.
I bet. It sounds like that experience really shaped their national identity. And the Algerian state today actively supports religious institutions, promotes Islamic education.
It does. There's a clear commitment to preserving and promoting that Islamic heritage. And the story of the Kachaoua Mosque in Algiers is quite telling, isn't it?
Remind me.
It was converted into a cathedral during the French colonial period.
Ah, right.
And then after independence, it was restored back to being a mosque. It's become this powerful symbol of reclaiming religious and cultural identity.
Definitely a potent symbol. Wow. Okay, the top 2. Number 2.
Number 2 is Egypt, with a massive 90.4 million Muslims.
90 million, huge jump again. Egypt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rightly seen as a cornerstone of Islamic civilization, isn't it?
Absolutely. A long-standing, incredibly influential center for religious scholarship, for legal thought, for intellectual life.
Its impact on Islamic thought globally just can't be overstated.
No, it really can't. And you have Al-Azhar University in Cairo. Still a world-renowned authority on Islamic teachings, it draws scholars, students from all over the globe.
Al-Azhar, right. And Egypt also has one of the oldest mosques in all of Africa, the Mosque of Amr ibn al-As, built way back in 642 CE.
That's correct, just a couple of decades after the Prophet Muhammad's death.
Incredible. That's almost a direct line back to the very early days of Islam arriving on the continent. It really grounds that long history.
It provides a remarkable, tangible connection to the faith's early expansion.
Okay.
And finally, at number 1, with the largest Muslim population in Africa by a significant margin, Nigeria, with the staggering 104.7 million Muslims.
Over 100 million. Wow. That is just a huge number.
It really is.
And the data indicates these communities are mostly in the northern states.
Primarily, yes, though there are significant Muslim populations across the country.
And Islam plays a major role in regional politics, cultural life. I mean, with that sheer size of population, that influence must be substantial.
Of course. And it's worth remembering Sokoto, mentioned in the notes, a historic caliphate city.
Right.
It was once the capital of a major Islamic state in West Africa. It underscores Nigeria's own deep historical roots in Islamic governance and scholarship. It wasn't just local, it was part of a much bigger intellectual and political world.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So, looking back at this whole top 10 list, what's the big picture? What's the main takeaway that strikes you?
I think it has to be the sheer scale, first of all, but also the incredible diversity of Muslim populations across Africa. It's just profound.
Yeah.
You have these ancient centers of learning in North Africa that literally shaped global intellectual history. You have vibrant, influential Sufi traditions in West Africa impacting social structures in unique ways. You see Islam acting as this powerful, unifying force in nations with immense internal diversity. It's just such a rich, complex tapestry. It's woven with centuries of history, diverse cultural expressions, and deeply held faith, all playing out differently in each context.
Absolutely. I mean, the resilience we talked about in Burkina Faso, the intellectual powerhouse Timbuktu, was that spiritual pull of Touba in Senegal, and then just the sheer magnitude in Nigeria and Egypt. Each country gives you this compelling glimpse into how multifaceted Islam's presence and impact on the continent really is.
And when you consider that historical depth alongside the, contemporary significance of these large and often growing Muslim communities, it really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it prompts this crucial question for the future. How will these rich, evolving traditions continue to shape the path of the African continent? Especially in our increasingly interconnected world, it really invites you, the listener, to maybe explore further that dynamic interplay between faith, culture, and societal development in these fascinating nations.